On YouTube, this is LA Prepper, and I think I just breached my OPSEC by showing the front of this package, so we're gonna be super careful here. This is, well, let's leave it as a mystery. What is in the bag? Let's shake it. Doesn't make a lot of noise. Let's see, how heavy is it? Ooh, speaking of things, I need to put this milk in the fridge. It is not as heavy as the milk. One of my wonderful subscribers who just had, a lot of channel interaction. I suppose it doesn't make sense for me to be enamored with my subscribers per se, but I appreciate the interaction. People that leave a lot of comments. Doesn't even matter if you agree or disagree. I have some people that leave comments somewhat regularly that aren't always agreeing with me, and that's totally cool. Knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky with people being civil on my channel. I do try to avoid hot topics to a certain extent, and I don't have so many views that I'm getting into trouble talking about things like being pro-gun or things like that. But I gotta admit, I've been getting some subs recently. I don't know, I think these fire videos are making people subscribe to me because they kind of want to see what's going on. So if you're a new subscriber, thanks for watching. I do take a look at every single notification. Unfortunately, it's a little, unless I send someone like a message, and I don't know, YouTube's not really the best about that functionality. It's kind of hard to give people a shout out unless I just specifically mention them in a video. Like, I guess I could go to my discussion page and say, hey, thanks for the sub. But I think I'm the only one that's used my discussion page since my YouTube channel opened, so I don't know. Oh, wow. There is all sorts of stuff in here. And this is like the most unsterile table you could imagine. Let's try to increase the sterility here, at least partially. But, okay, what do we have? What did Mr. Huples, my favorite new sub, my sub of the week, and since we're, I got a lot of good subs, but might have to name Huples Cat my subscriber of the month. That's it. I'm going to make it official. Huples Cat, you are my subscriber of the month. I really appreciate this package without even further looking inside and seeing what's going on. That's really cool. I'm going to try to figure out something kind of cool to do for the subscriber of the month. Maybe a little challenge, something beyond a video shout out. Maybe, if I'm not sure Huples does, I think Huples has some videos of his own. Don't always spend as much time as I should checking out other people's channels, especially if they're not kind of, when you're subscribed to like a few dozen people, it kind of takes a bit of time to like go through everyone's videos. But at any rate, before I embarrass myself any further, let me continue taking a look at what we have in here. Ooh, triangular bandages. Very cool. Super useful, kind of, for slings, makeshift. Heaven forbid you had to use this for a tourniquet, still better than nothing, better than ripping off your t-shirt. So we got some triangular bandages. Oh, very cool. Some graphic. Oof. Pressure injury. Interesting. I've not heard the specific term pressure injury before. Oh man. Geez, I'm glad I had breakfast. This card's a little bit gross. But anyways. Here we have some Tegaderm film, transparent film dressing. Interesting. Looks like kind of an occlusive dressing designed to sort of seal the wound. I'm not, Huples was saying something about, people not knowing like how to use all this stuff. So I might have to bug him about when you want to use an occlusive bandage and when you don't want to. So we have some Tetraderm films. We have a biohazard bag which is cool. I don't have a biohazard bag. I suppose. No, I guess you use these for like disposing of. You can use them for disposing of any medical stuff. Like if you're changing a dressing. Now, if someone is just cut and they're just a regular person, I'm not sure if that's the kind of thing that you need to be as careful with. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be for like biological stuff, like if someone is really sick or if they have the plague or if they have, hepatitis or something, then or in general, if just, anytime you're dealing with someone, probably want to be wearing gloves. I don't know. I guess I don't know like the specific purpose that I would break out this bag. Would it just be to dispose of some waste that has bodily fluids on it? Or is this something like I'm trying to keep for evidence, like if someone has some crazy Ebola symptoms and I'm like, hey, Center for Disease Control, I have a bloody tissue I want to send you because this guy was like bleeding out of his ears or something. So what kind of situations, other than sort of normal disposing of bodily tainted bandages, would you use your, if I only have a couple of them, I kind of want to not like waste them, right? Even though they're only Ziploc bags, but still. So we got some biohazard bags. A call to defy corporate domination. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I'll read this card. To LA Prepper, sorry I was so slow in posting this. Still Christmas. Thanks for all your support and keep studying as well as doing great videos. And then his name. I'll keep his name private just for OPSEC. I guess this is a postcard, but I love this postcard. It says on the bottom, until we can understand the assumptions in which we are drenched, we cannot know ourselves. Giant corporations govern the U.S. and Earth. This rule by corporation violates the fundamental democratic principle and consent of the governed. Hey, I'm no big fan of big business either, Huples. Believe me, I was actually really fortunate. I had a history teacher in community college made us read this book. The textbook for the class was called Who Ruled America? And it talked about how the CEOs of big companies are all on each other's boards. Like they're literally all on each other's boards. So anytime you have decisions about raises and bonuses and all that stuff, they just vote for everyone to get rich, at least most of the time. So yeah, corporations do rule this country. It's a little unfortunate, but we're all doing what we can to make America great. Have some tape here, some real nice, looks like some pretty strong tape. So that's cool when you have something that you really want to stay in place. Tape's really good when you're doing first aid. It's just, a little bit of gauze and some tape, and you can do a lot of stuff. More biohazard bags. Here we have some standard gauze. Very nice. Oh man, if I go through each one of these individually, it's going to be a 20-minute video. Soft silk wax-coated braided silk. Relia point. Cutting. Oh wow, I think this is a suture kit. Yeah, I think this is a needle and thread for doing sutures. That's cool. Yeah, Huples, you gotta watch this video, Huples, and help me out. That looks like a picture of a needle right there, and if it says cutting, I guess, cutting through skin and such. No sting skin prep. Some great way to clean a wound real quick, especially if you're gonna do something like stitches. Here we have a straight needle, some more silk. Here we have a Aquacell sterile something. Convatec sterile R. I have no idea what this is. It's flexible. Aquacell AG. Silver? Is there silver in here? Is this some colloidal silver? I don't know. Huples, you gotta help me out with this stuff. You're sending me some straight up out of a hospital stuff here. Non-adherent dressing, so sort of some gauze. I don't know what the difference between gauze and a dressing is. I don't know if this absorbs more or less blood than a gauze would, but at any rate. We have some more gauze. Always nice to have those big patches. Ooh, temperature. Single-use clinical thermometer. Very cool. Oh no, it's in metric. Oh my gosh, Huples, you're killing me. I'm going to be trying to take people's temperature and it's going to be 40 degrees Celsius. I'm not going to know what that means. I'm embarrassed. I don't know. I know the human body's like 98.6 or something, give or take, in Fahrenheit, but I don't know what that is in Celsius. I'm going to have to look that up and use these Canadian thermometers. Be like, oh, I don't know, you're a little sick. Your temperature is 35 and a half, eh? That's my terrible Canadian accent. I'm sorry. Non-adhering dressing. Very cool. Now, I really wonder, like, what's... so I have a few different dressings here. So, like, we have the Metapolex, we have this Adaptic, we have some regular gauze, then we have this Inodine. So I wonder, like, is there a best use for each of these? Because, if someone's bleeding a lot, I have very minimal first aid training. If someone was like gushing out their arm, I would apply some direct pressure, probably do something with a tourniquet, and call 911 and hope that society hasn't collapsed. It's a little embarrassing to be sort of not better trained in first aid. But I think as a prepper, it's something that's important. Definitely, cost of training is something to keep in mind, but I'm going to need to add that onto the list. I'd be curious what you guys think and what you girls think about different training avenues. Should I just go Red Cross or CERT or, private stuff? CPR is always nice, but it's really just a starting off point. Especially if you don't have a defibrillator, because, I don't know, maybe Huples, you can tell me, how often does CPR alone, resuscitate a person? From what I understand, if their heart stopped, you better shock them. You better have a defibrillator, because it's not like in the movies where you pound on their heart and they come back to life all the time. So, nice mask here. This is definitely going in my bug out bag, because if there's some crazy fire stuff going on, you really don't want to be breathing that, And you might not always have the option to stay in your car. If the fire... Say there's a traffic jam and the fire is approaching and starts to encroach on the highway. Are you going to wait until it reaches your car? So very good to have a mask. Oh, I wish I knew the Canadian anthem. I would hum the tune right now. Shame on me that I don't. Maybe I'd recognize it if I heard it, but Huples, we're going to find a good place for your Kannuk flag. We're going to find a good place for this maple leaf. In fact, I can't in good conscience leave it on the ground. So let's see if I can... Where can we put this guy? Where can I put a flag in my place? Where do I need a Canadian flag? Here, I think this will work for now. There we go, Huples. I am dubbing my bug out boat supply corner Huples Station. I don't know why Huples Station sounds better than Huples Corner, but I'm going to dub this area Huples Station in remembrance of Canadians liking to do stuff with their hands and with wood. Yeah. I'll see if I can find a better spot for that flag, but I think that's a decent spot. I'll see it when I leave the house, and it will remind me that Canada and Canadians are good people. And I tell you, Huples, I joke, but Canadians have this weird thing, at least weird to me and as American, that they all seem like really well-rounded. Like they all came from good families and they're well-rounded and they're very easygoing and fun and just in a good mood. And I don't know how Canada does it, but y'all make some cool people up there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the free health or, quote unquote free healthcare, but yeah, so this looks like another mask, I think. Unless it's a little boat. It kind of looks like a little boat, right? But no, this looks like a mask. I'll have to find a Ziploc bag to throw that in, keep that nice and sterile. Man, there is a ton of stuff in here. All right, we got some more. Ooh, wow, we got a long dressing. Man, this is gonna, this is so awesome because I'm not just gonna put all this stuff into one kit. I'm gonna spread this out into, excuse me. I'm gonna put some of these in my bug out bag, which stays in my car. I've been kind of thinking about consolidating my car bag and my bug out bag because I almost never go. My bug out bag is basically always in the car, right? Unless I go on a hike and then I might take it with me. So why do I have a car bag if my bug out bag is always in the car? Is it so that if my bug out bag is not in the car, I still have a car bag? Or, what do you guys think? If you always keep your bug out bag in your car, why do you need a car bag? I don't know. But I can put some of these in my everyday carry that I take to school with me, which, considering I can't have weapons on school, is basically some first aid stuff, some fire stuff, and I think a whistle or something. So I don't really have a very exciting everyday carry, but this is really great because I'll be able to put some gauze, a mask, maybe some other stuff in my everyday carry. So God forbid, and I hate to even mention this on this video, but there was another shooting in New Mexico at a school. So unfortunately, history would tell us that a shooting at a school, even, and here in California, we've had some shootings as well, across the country, sad to say. There's, and not like a shooting at school is the most likely way to go. I'm probably more likely to use this in my front yard, the way my the neighbors drive like crazy up and down the street. I'm more likely to, see a car accident than I am a mass shooting. So maybe that's why it's nice to have some extra stuff in the car. Just because you never know. Oh, gauze. Gotta love gauze. So nice. All right, we got some more masks. Oh, man, we got a lot of masks. We got enough masks for the neighborhood. Oh, very cool. We have a band for slowing blood flow. I know people use these to take blood. I don't know if you would use it as a makeshift tourniquet. Maybe I'll Google 10 ways to use a rubber band or a medical band. Oh, more face masks. Wonderful. Oh man, he freaking hooked it up with a face mask. Oh my gosh. I might need to pay this forward a little bit. I might need to pay this forward and put together some just sort of little mini, because I'm just one person. So do I necessarily? I'm kind of a believer in resources should be used in the best possible way. So does it make sense for me to have a few masks in case of emergency? Absolutely. Does it make sense for me to hoard, almost over half a dozen masks for myself? I don't know. I don't want to seem ungrateful of all this stuff. I'm extremely grateful of everything that I've gotten, but I want to share the bounty. So I might need to put together a couple kind of mini little booster packs. And if Huple is kind enough to share with me some of the differences in this stuff, I might do just a little video. I don't know a ton about first aid, but I might just kind of talk about some of this stuff and encourage other people to kind of get into some first aid training and such. So cool stuff. We got some nice little scie de Latour scissors. I don't know what Latour means. Maybe it means cutting stitches or something, or I don't know. I honestly don't know what that word means. Maybe it means unless it just means scissors, but that wouldn't make sense. No, it's Latour scissors. I'm sure I'm butchering that word, but I'll have to figure out. Those have a special use. Ooh, we have a blue band. Very cool. Now I can shoot up heroin at home. Kidding. Primapore. Nice little gauze package. Huples, you have outdone yourself, Huples. This is really awesome. You know, most people, normal people, I feel like if they got a bunch of gauze in the mail, they would be like, "Oh, okay." but me being of the prepper mindset and being kind of short on just like gauze and basic stuff like this is really awesome. Ah, cool. Some more sterile stuff. We got some more litar scissors, suture tray. Oh, I wonder if they are suture scissors. So this is like your little suture kit. You know, if the shit hits the fan, you're going to be doing stitches on somebody. You know, potentially. Reminds me of a story of, I want to say Lewis and Clark on his way. I can't remember if it was on his way out to the West Coast or back from the West Coast, but he was out hunting with one of his members, his party members, and he got shot in the ass. No joke. I think the round went in one cheek and out the other or something, or in one side and out the other, but he got straight up shot in the ass, and they didn't have any hospitals. I think they just packed it with gauze, and he kept walking, and they packed it with more gauze, and they cleaned it, and I think it eventually closed up. But man, can you imagine getting shot in the ass and then having to walk around, you know, in the middle of the frickin' forest? It's a great book. I wish I still had it. I think I gave it to someone, but it's a really good book about the Lewis and Clark's expedition. Alcohol swipes. Some more gauze stuff. Nice little Mepilex border. Why do they give these bandages such weird names? Why don't they just say bandage or adhesive bandage? Why do they have to call it this weird stuff? Anyways. Skin prep. Latex powder-free gloves. Nice. Here we have what looks like, you know, I almost want to say these are like a chest seal, transparent film. You know, like if someone gets shot and they have a puncture to the chest, it could potentially make it hard for them to breathe. And what can happen, which is really crappy, is you can draw blood. If you have a puncture in your abdominal cavity, if you have a hole here, when you breathe in, you can actually draw other fluid, and it can collapse the lung. Scary stuff. So, you know, I'm not an expert of when you should cover a chest wound and when you shouldn't cover a chest wound. But one thing I will say about having more medical supplies, I've heard other people mention this, and I think it's a really good point. You don't always have these because you know how best to use them. You know, a lot of times it's nice just to have them because if there's other people there, you know, let's say I'm at school and let's say I have a nurse in my class and God forbid something happens, somebody gets really hurt. The nurse might have the training, but they don't have any materials. So if I have the materials, you know, it's not like you're ever going to hear in a mass shooting situation, does anyone have a chest seal? I doubt you hear people shouting to the crowd like that, but guaranteed if you are a good Samaritan and you respond to someone who has a serious trauma and you have some first aid supplies, there's not a terrible chance that other people responding to that trauma might have some sort of training that could put this to use. So, you know, training is important. I certainly have not really done any serious first aid training in a very long time, but it's going to be, you know, this might be the straw, this might be the catalyst to kind of get me into a little bit of first aid stuff. Drain sponges, man. It's not a good day when you have to be drained, trust me. Not that I would really know, but I'm just saying. You don't, draining is kind of a yucky stuff happens when you drain things in the hospital. Some more gauze. So, listen, Huples, you're a really good guy for sending all this stuff. I really appreciate it. I'm going to do my best to organize this, and I'll probably shoot some videos of me trying to incorporate this into my trauma kit in my bug out bag, as well as my car, as well as my everyday carry. And I guess I'll put any of the overflow into my sort of like bring with me bag. I kind of call it like my level 1 or level 2. Like the bug out bag is level 1, everything else kind of level 2, level 3, you know. So looks like a little bit of a mess here. I got some school stuff I got to work on today, so I can't play too much with this. But thanks so much, Huples. You're really, really awesome guy for sending all this stuff. I do truly appreciate it. I'm going to put it to use, put it with my preps. And I tell you, I certainly hope that I never have to use it. But at the same time, it's going to, you know, give me a little bit of peace of mind knowing that, you know, heaven forbid something happens, that I'm a little bit more prepared with, you know, a little bit of gauze, a little bit of tape, you know, a little bit of stitching stuff, some face masks, you know, all really, really basic stuff, but still really, really useful. As well as, you know, costly. You know, being a quote unquote starving student, you know, I would probably spend, well, I would spend more money than I would plan on spending buying all this stuff. You know, it's not important, you know, how much this cost or anything like that. What's important is that as a community, you know, preppers try to help each other out, try to help each other in life through their struggles, through their prepping, whether it's, you know, firearm skills or first aid skills or outdoor skills, whatever it is. You know, I'm knock on wood, you know, going to be done with this semester at some point, and looking to get out into the wilderness a little bit, share some of my craft. You know, I haven't even showed you guys, you know, building fires or tying knots or putting up a tent or, you know, stuff like, I've really, shame on me for not really kind of exhibiting some of the other skills that I have other than just how to flap my mouth. You know, I definitely have more skills than couch prepping. I'm not intending to be a couch prepper. I have been as of late. But at any rate, thanks again, Huples. Really, really appreciate it. These supplies, they'll be put to good use one day. You know, if I'm, unless they have an expiration date, which I guess theoretically they do. But at any rate, I'll definitely hang on to them for a long time. They're going to be an integral part of my kit. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and again, I'd like to thank Huples Cat, my subscriber of the month. Take care, guys.